Hello and what's up everyone, this is Viper, and in this video I am going to talk about how can we start our own static blogging platform built using Jekyll and host it in GitHub as a GitHub page. I will start from GitHub page, then Jekyll, and then adding commenting feature on the GitHub page, and finally adding our site to the Google Search Console and Analytics. If you are in a hurry, then you can read my blog on my own GitHub page. The link is in the description. Without wasting any time, let's get right into the topic. Before going further into our topic, we have to mention the name and work of our illustrator friend Anish, who created a logo for us. We are very grateful and glad to get help from him, and if you are also in the need of high quality logos, vector images or illustrations, then please contact him from the link given in the description. Here I have my own static blogging platform currently running on my local system. I am using Jekyll theme minimal mistakes, and it provides us lots of useful features like viewing posts by year, categories, tags, and so on. Here I have few tabs, and I made one projects tab by myself to show blogs about projects only. We will be using open source theme minimal mistakes, and let's go to its official documentation, and it have some instruction to follow up also. First thing we have to do is install the dependencies, and first of them is of course Ruby. The required version of Ruby is about 2.4.0 or higher, and last time I checked, Jekyll was not able to install on version above 2.8. So please make sure you are using version below 2.8 because we will be using lots of Ruby packages, and else we cannot run them. Next thing we have to install is Ruby gems. Gems in Ruby are like packages on Python, and gem is something like pip to install the gems. Let me go to the official Ruby download page, and if you are going to follow this video, please download version below 2.8. I will also add this link on the description. After downloading, install it and make sure that Ruby is found inside environment variable or not, and we can check this by simply trying to see the version of Ruby. And I have used version 2.6 and it is working fine on my system, and please go ahead and check on your system also. Now we need to download Jekyll and Bundler for our task. Jekyll is a static website builder, and Bundler helps us to start a server and host it locally. Installing it is easy. Simply do gem install Jekyll Bundler. But I am not doing it again because I already have done so. In order to run our Jekyll site, we have to do bundle exec Jekyll serve. So here it is. My local site is equivalent to the remote site. So we can see it right here. After installing required packages, go to github.com and log in and start a new repository named as username.github.io. Of course, username should be your username. And don't forget to make it public and also add a readme file. Now let's check if we can start our GitHub page using this repository or not. In order to do that, let's go to settings and scroll down to the bottom and see on the GitHub pages section, and let's click on that link. It showed that it is hosted, and we can pretty see that. Now I am going to write a simple HTML file, index.html. Inside it will be simple hello world. Now commit the changes and wait for some moments, then refresh this site, and here is our hello world website. This was the basic thing, and next thing we have to do is use minimal mistakes and then make it a blogging platform. So that's how we can make a simple GitHub page, but right now we will be using template given by minimal mistakes. One thing to remember is that if we are going to make a simple portfolio, then we can write our own site using plain HTML, JavaScript and CSS. For blogging with minimal mistakes, please go to the link given on the description to follow along. Just click on the link minimal mistakes remote theme starter, and it will take us to the repository creator using the template. Now choose the appropriate owner name, and in my case it is a data coil, and name a repository name. Now make it public and create a repository using our template. Now check if it is running as GitHub page or not. We can go to the settings and see by ourselves. Let's refresh our GitHub page and we can see that clearly it is hosted. Right now we have made a simple blogging platform in our name, but there are still lots of things to do. We want to visualize mathematical formulas, and we can also add a commenting feature. But one thing we have to remember is that this is a static blogging site and there will be nothing like database. And if we want to allow a comment, then we should be relying on some other tools like GitHub issue or Facebook comments or like Discuss and some other things. And next thing we have to do is clone our current repository into our local system and then open it into the VS Code. Now once the folder is open, go to the config.yml file and see its content. It contains all of information about our site like configuration informations. Now we have to change the title, email, description. Description can be as simple as bio. Let's add some Twitter name and GitHub username also. The key minimal mistakes skin allows us to use different skin of minimal mistakes, and current is default. You can change it as per need, and let's do it later. I think there are 5 plus skins available. The term remote theme means which theme we will be using on the remote hosting. Permalink is the structure of link. Here our link will be generated based on the category and then the title of the post. We also need to change other field like author name, avatar, which is of course a site logo or bio photo. And the bio can be as simple as introduction to the author, and other informations like website link, Twitter link, Instagram, etc. can be also filled out. But I do not have these all accounts right now, so I am skipping it. After making basic modifications or changing the intro, we have to make some changes on theme also. The key remote theme means that we will be using that on remote places like GitHub, but to try it locally we have to use only key theme. According to the documentation, we have to use minimal mistakes Jekyll as gem. So install it by including on gem file and run the command bundle. It will install the Jekyll theme on our local system and we can use it as theme. Once the installation is complete, we can test our initial version of local site. So in order to do that, we simply have to hit bundle exec Jekyll serve and it will give us a local host address. And please ignore the warning in the yellow line. Once the site has been generated, it will be residing on the underscore site on the same folder. And let's see our site. It is showing fine. Now let's make a new blog post. We will be following a naming convention like other file names. It will not matter much, but still following a naming convention will make us managing our file systems pretty easily. Start with year, then a hyphen, then month, then hyphen, and day, and then hyphen, and the title name with all the spaces is hyphen. The file extension should be markdown, that is in MD extension. Now most important thing about blog is that it should be starting with a blog information, and it is commonly known as front matter. It will start and end with 3 minuses, and between it will be written the title, date, categories, tags, and other information like header images. And we can use this information as a variable from somewhere within the website. These techniques are known as liquid format. Today is 17 May 2021, nearly 9 am. I have changed the value of last modified date 8 and saved it, but it seems to be wrong and I am seeing liquid exception error on the terminal. That was because of the wrong date format. Now let's write our blog. Since it is markdown, it will be much more fast to write than the HTML. Syntax is also very simple. H1 in the HTML is equivalent to the single S. So let me write the heading of post and some text on the paragraph. Now one cool blogging feature is that we can write a post and make it live in future. It can be done by using a key date on the front matter instead of last modified dated. Now I'm going to change my date and time in future, that is nearly a day ahead on this blog. So it should be visible after a day. Let's save file and go to website and refresh the page. Now it shows the blog post or link is not found. It is because the post was supposed to be live on the future. Now let's add some images on our blog. Let's make a folder to hold images inside our assets folder. Let's make our new folder and name it as blog images. Now copy and paste the images inside the folder that we just made earlier. Now in order to read that image, it is very easy in Markdown. To read an image inside a website, we have to give the proper path of it. If we are about to read a bg9.png image, which is inside the site's URL, and inside it is a assets folder, and inside it is a blog images, and inside it is all images. So reading the bg9.png, we have to give entire path. And using the liquid format, we can retrieve our site's URL, which can be vary according to the where we are hosting. So save the file and refresh the blog. It should be shown on the blog now. Now I want to visualize the mathematical formula because I have to use some notations and expressions sometimes for my blog, and thus it is necessary for me. It will not be as perfect as native LaTeX, but using MathJax we can do it. I have already written a blog about everything on my site, and please go ahead and follow the link given in the description. But let's try it if we can view it by default. The syntax is write LaTeX formula inside a double dollar sign. This is a formula of a plus b to the whole square, and let's see if it can be visualized. Unfortunately, it is not visible, so we will use MathJax. So let me go to my old blog and follow it. And I am copying the JavaScript line inside our edit.html file, which will be inside the include folder of the project. But unfortunately, we do not have include folder right now. Since we have installed minimal mistakes as a gem, it will be available in our local system, and the include folder will also be there inside our minimal mistakes Jekyll folder. So let's go to the Ruby folder, and then lib and then Ruby, then gems, then 2.6.0, then gems, then minimal mistakes Jekyll folder. Copy the include and layouts folder and then paste it on our project directory. Now open the add.html file and paste the JavaScript script, then refresh our blog. Now our formula is visible completely. Let me again write more formula and check if it can parse them and if I can see some popular formulas or not. First of them is kinetic energy. Let's save and refresh. It is shown perfectly. Now let me try to see if I can view mean or not. The format of mean on LaTeX is a bit tricky, and I am not able to write it completely correct on the first attempt, but later it is shown perfectly. Again, let's see if I can view delta sign or not. Yes, I can. Now let's try to add commenting feature on our blog. In order to do that, in our static website, we have to rely on some dynamic things. So let's go to the official documentation page and follow it along. There are many ways to add comments, and I'm going to use utterances because it is simple, fast and easy to integrate with our GitHub account. In order to use that, let's go to the given link to install the app on our site repository and then configure it. So we have to use our desired profile and also use the desired repository. It should be our site repository. Now we need to make some changes to our config file also. We need to add comments section and repository also. Our repository will be datacoil users datacoil.github.io repository, and let's copy paste the comment section from the documentation page. Once it is done, let's push the changes because commenting is not available on local site, and we will check if commenting is working or not on the remote site. Add the changes, commit the changes and then push it. Once completed, open our remote site. The layout is not shown properly and the design is all messed up right now. The reason must be not using the remote theme on the remote site. So let's correct it now and push the changes, but first let's remove gem minimal mistake Jekyll from gem file because I think there is some kind of conflict happening by using gem minimal mistake Jekyll inside our gem file. So once it is done, let's refresh our site and then add some comments. First I have to sign in, and once it is done, it will show my GitHub profile image. And then let's add comment and click on just now to find out where it will take us. So our comment is an issue in our site repository, and if I wrote something inside the comment here, it should be visible on blog also. And next thing we have to do is add our site on Google Search Console, because we want our site to be visible from Google search queries. And also we need to add Google Analytics because we want to see how our website is performing. So let's go to the Google Search Console site and add our site URL on URL prefix. And it showed me that it is verified because I have already done everything on this GitHub page. But let me use another email address and show it how it will ask us. It will ask us which verification method to use, and of course I will like to use simple HTML file on the root of site because it is easier and faster. So download that file and paste it inside our root of local site directory, and then push the changes. After a few minutes, go to the browser and then click on verify. It should be showing successful message, but here in my case I am getting not verified because my site is already associated with another user. Once it is done, the Search Console window should be something like this. In order to make sure our all links make visible on Google search, we will add sitemap. Let's try to add sitemap.xml, and it is showing that could not fetch, and the reason must be the age of site because we just created site and it must take some time in order to find the links by web crawler. After writing few blocks and after few days, our sitemap should be visible. Let's go to URL inspection and see if Google can find our site or not. Of course it will not, but let's request it and try once. It should be shown after a few days. Next thing we should be doing is add a Google Analytics on our site. So go to the link given in the description, then click on Start Measuring and fill the setup form. Give our account a name, and I am giving data-quel, giving a property name or data quel, and next then select industry category and then click on what we want to measure. Accept the terms and conditions and choose a platform, and it will be web. Enter the site URL and click on create stream. It will give us measurement ID, which is very important ID, and let's follow its instruction. It is suggesting us to add the script on head, and let's copy and paste the given script on the head of our site. Then push the changes. Once done, we can view our data. Once everything is up to this, it should be able to track traffic and history also, but it might take some days in order to get all the data. Now let me show my Search Console data. It shows me that there has been 326 clicks since last February 16 to the few days ago. It also shows experience, usability, and so on. The performance tab also gives a nice visualization of our data. Since 3 months, there has been above 5,000 impressions, which I think is genuine and should be from organic source because I was busy and was not able to share blogs from few months. And my top queries are convolutional neural networks from scratch in Python, and most of my viewers are searching for CNN from scratch, of course. Going into pages, and countries shows that most viewers are from US, and also dates shows which days have top views. And here is my analytics data. On early days, I used to share my blog, and now I have not shared it since a month because I have not made any new blogs. The pie chart here shows that there has been more than 50% of organic search on the last 6 days. My performance of site was not okay on early days, but now my content seems to be available on the Google search and other search engines also. It has been some days since I have added my new site, data.quel, on analytics, and it is showing some data. So it will take some days, if not hours, to show the data, and all we can do is wait in the meantime. So this was everything one should know about starting a blogging journey with GitHub Page. And I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something valuable. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe our channel as a support. We will be continuing to make new contents and I will see you on next video. Stay safe. Goodbye.